Hey guys, right, we're doing electrical stuff, so have a look at this. We're gonna do all the electrical. Get that for the first time. We're gonna turn this on, make sure it all works. I've done a bit of wiring. There's a 12-volt supply from 240 to 12 volts. We've done a bit of here, so it's a little bit involved, but we're gonna test a few things and then let's get into it. I can't wait. We're gonna turn this thing on and test and get some lights burning and get it going. Alright, so these are the work lights. So we've got a work light up the front, one either side and one at the back. So they're the 4 switches there. So we're going to whack this in. I've just wired it all up. We've got fuses over there. Fuses over there. You can see the fuses. Fuses are all set up for some of these things here. So what we're going to do is, I've pre-drilled the hole so we don't split the wood. And we're going to get that in there. So that's that switch. I haven't even turned these on yet. So I hope everything's right. So these are 12 volt and they will work with the 240 12 volt. So in other words, when we're hooked up at home, 240 and then that can run the 12 volts. It's actually a computer power supply. 36 amps, which is 750 watts, I'm pretty sure. So there's not really a lot that will drive. There's not really a lot that will draw a lot of current. Probably the TV will draw about 7 amps. That's in the corner. It's a 12 volt TV. All the lights are LED, so they're going to draw bugger all. This here we've got a USB, a cigarette lighter for a fan. We're thinking a fan, and another USB, but a QC3, which is a fast charging one. After I've mounted it, I'll show you. So I've got 6 mil wire there. So that is good for 50 amps. So we can draw a bit of power off that if we want to. So I've pre-drilled them as well. Just bear with me while I screw that in. And then we'll go get the 240 volts, the power lead, and plug it in. And we'll see how it goes. Cross fingers, I'm pretty sure I got everything right. Whoop. Last screw in there. I'm just going to sort of guide that in a bit and bring you over there. Just sort of see them. Sort of pre-do that. I made this panel, that's why it says it's got sharp corners on it. Right, so the idea behind this is, I'll show you when it's hooked up. I'm just going to show you, take you off there. So there's our 3 ports. So we can hook a fan up. We're thinking a fan, and we can get a bit of breeze in here. Fast charger, and that's just a 2.1 amp. That is to turn the inverter on, 12 volts to 240. And there's your light switches there. Can't really see much. Oh, and I did mount reading lights in there. So I'm hoping that all works. And so I'll be sleeping down here. So this will be my reading light. Or if I just want to turn a light on while I'm in bed, and I don't have to get out of bed. Because while you're in bed, you're not going to be able to turn a switch on. Alright, we'll get some 240 volts on here. This is a little bit exciting. I'm excited because I've got this new thing. I'll just put you back in here again. Actually, sorry for moving you. I'm excited for this bit, right? because this will it's like a microprocessor thing. I'm best to just turn it on and show you. So we'll go round the side, put the power on, and now I've got it turned off at the moment. And that's the front, that's the back, and that's the front power points. All right, let's go plug it in around the side. All right, got power on here. Got power on here because it's glowing orange at the end. I've got like a neon in it. Oh, here we go. So this is a new 15 amp inlet that I've put on. It's all waterproof. Here we go. You can see it's got power on it. Alright, let's go have a look inside. Okay, well, I've got the power on, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to flick this on. This is the main isolator, and this is that's for the back. Ironically, the front one is for the back, and that is for the front power points. So we'll flick this on. And you can see this displays, it goes through a 6-second thing, and then you'll see that thing has come on, you hear the clunk. Now everything's on. So if I flick that on, red means on, red means on. So now we've got power. Now we've got power to that shows the live 240 volts, which is actually 234. 240 volts isn't always 240, it's 230. You can see it fluctuates. And that's what I love about this thing. You can actually see how many amps. The zero part is how many amps we're drawing. So if I plug in, I'll just show you something. I just got this little heater thing, sorry. Now this is just a 240 volt appliance. It's like heat shrink air gun, hot air gun. So I'm hoping that this will show. So we'll plug that in there, turn it on. Hopefully we'll get a reading on here. And it draws 1.4 amps. I'll turn it off. There you go. It shows you how many amps. So I've used 6mm 240 volts, which is overkill, but I don't want any drawing problems. So if I want to draw something that's got a bit of power, obviously 1.4, obviously that doesn't draw a lot, but this is a handy thing. You can have a set, if you look very close, it's got a set up and down. You can actually program this to have an over voltage protection and an under voltage protection, and it's got surge protection, so it's really good for computers and that. So we know that power point works. We'll just turn this one on. Power point works there. One down the bottom. They're all going to work because right, that power point is for a 240 volt fridge, or I'm going to put a car battery to charge the batteries in if we need to. So, and we've got, just come back here, and we've got that 240 volt. So there you go, we got all power there now. Right, so put that down. Now I'm going to explain to you. I'm hoping what we'll do is right, because this is a computer power supply, you normally wire in your harness. This is your main motherboard harness, and the green and the black is negative, but the green is the power on button. So when you turn your computer on, it usually hits the green button and earths it out. So I'm going to bring it closer, just so you know, you've got a better idea. Because computer power supply is a very good power supply because they use inductors and that type of thing. So it's not a big transformer anymore. You don't have a big transformer. It's all inductors, which is cause a wire around magnets, ring magnets. So if I short these two out here, you'll see the fan comes on, which means we've got power. And I'll try and keep you on view. So as soon as I short these two out, we should have lights here. So turn it on, bang. There you go. That will go through a switch. That's why I've got a hole here. We're going to have a vent here. So let's have a look at the switches. I haven't seen these before, so this is cool. Sorry if I'm moving. I'm going to try and get you set up. Right, so we've got, there's a work light there. So that'll be the front one. That'll be a side one. That'll be a side one. That'll be the back one. Reading light. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. And they spin around. And Nick will be happy. My wife will be happy with that. This actually puts out a fair bit of light, that does. And there's the other reading light there. Very happy with that. That's cool. So we've got the 240 volt, and we're going to light up cigarette lighter and volts. Also, just want to show you this now. Well, it's all working. I'm pretty happy with that. Trying to get you in a good spot. Sorry, I keep trying to move you around. Right. So now that we've hooked up to 240 volts, we should be able to plug in the USB. Does that turn on? There you go, it's charging. So we'll let that charge for a minute, because that was flat. There you go, 82%. So that's the 240 volt charging through the 240 mains. Now, if we're 12 volts, which I haven't quite shown you what I'm going to do there, but I've got this rotary switch. This rotary switch here is actually going to, we're going to clunk it, and it's more or less two, imagine two people. One's got the power for the batteries, and one's got the power for this power supply. So if one takes one off and puts the other one on, it's still got 12 volts. So that means if we don't have 240 and we're just using battery power, we'll hook into here. So that should charge now. There you go, charging. Should go green in a minute. It's only a 2.1 amp charger. It's a slow charger. So if we put it in that one, the QC3, put it in this one here. It should charge it a lot quicker. So the idea is when we go to bed, we can charge that. We've got 83% already. That's the fast charger. So we put our phone there. If you've got a shorter cable, you go to there, but that's the idea with that. So if I'm sleeping down here, both Nick and I can charge our phones and put it to there. And if you want to get up in the morning and don't want to turn the lights on up here, you just flick them on. Done. Right, so while we've got the 240 volts on, we're gonna short out the lights, I reckon. So this is the water pump. This is the power to the water pump. So we've got another switch. This is another switch panel that's going to go here. So we've got one for the USB for outside, so we can charge our phone outside if we're outside. There's going to be one for the TV, and the TV, where is the TV? TV somewhere. Oh, I don't know where the TV, it's in there somewhere. The TV one's in there. So one will be TV, sorry. One will be the cabin lights. You can see cabin lights, and one will be the stereo, which we can turn the stereo on. So what I'm going to do is, I'm actually going to short out, they're the roof lights, and I've got a positive down there. I'm actually going to show you this. There's our positive down there. So I'm just going to short this out. That's the roof lights. And you should see the roof lights come on. And look at the difference, how bright it is. Oh yeah, I'm going to turn that on. Whoa, look at that. There you go. I haven't quite got it on there then. There you go. Look how bright that is now. So that is going to, the roof lights, they work. So if I turn that off, look at the difference when I take it off. Big difference. Massive difference. So there's our roof lights. That's our stereo. That is the water pump going down, and there's a TV one somewhere. Where's the TV? I think that's the TV. There it is. That's the TV one, which goes to that corner. So the TV, the 12 volt TV will have 12 volts, and it's also going to have a 240 volt power point there. So when we're short power like we are now, we can just use a 240 volt transformer to 12 volts. So we can use both. So anyway, I'm very, very happy with this. Everything's working. So we've got a sender. Remember the water tank sender that we did? That is the signal wire that goes to the gauge. So what we do is we run a positive to the gauge, a negative to the gauge, and then this one goes from the coil from the gauge through the sender, and then I've got a negative running back to here to negative. So anyway, you'll see that later. There's going to be the water pump switch will be there, but the gauge will be up here, so you can, when you're and there'll be a switch over there for turn the gauge on, so you're not having it on all the time. So you can see how much water is in the tank. Oh boy. So there you go. Very happy with that. So we have got power. I'm pretty happy with that. Don't they look smick? There's all the work lights. Very happy. Alright guys, that is the latest on that. Oh, one more thing. That is the switch. That's the 240 volt switch for the dome light outside. And that is the 12 volt switch for the dome light. Because remember we did 240 and 12 volt in here. So technically, technically if I turn that on there, on that side, you hear it click, you might be able to see it turn on. There you go, that's the 12 volts. So I haven't actually, this 240 volts right now is live. So I've actually got to clean that up. That's the only last bit I've got to do, but I've still got to put a power point there. Right, there you go. So we've still got the panel to put on there and that rotary switch. But we're getting there. I've got to short out the radio to get it working on there. So you'll see the radio working later. The stereo, it's a Bluetooth, SD card, auxiliary. So I'm pretty happy. That is a Caravan electrical system nearly there. So and the water pump's there. And we might even put some small lighting in here. I nearly thought about getting some more of these. And maybe having them up the top. But I'm not sure. Oh, one more thing I didn't show you is I got one of these. I actually got this made for the Caravan. Cost me 30 bucks. Only the wire. And I've put 2 junction boxes there. And so when I pop the top down, you know what's going to happen. It's just going to compress. And there's no wire problem. No loose wire like this sort of stuff. So I've done that as well. And they actually miss. When you see that come down, that actually misses it, and that pulls down onto there. But anyway, we got a few more things done. So behind the scenes, I'm probably going to do a bit more, trying to get the rotary switch and the panel and all that type of thing. You're probably not going to see much more electrical until the end of it. But I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, that. So I'd like to put something decent in there, like a heater, and just see how much we can draw. Alright guys, that's just a quick electrical test. Oh, one more thing. Down here, we've got 240 volts there as well. That's live. But I've got to wire up the 12 volt. There's going to be a USB and a cigarette lighter there. So the cigarette lighter will be for maybe a 12 volt shower pump or something, and the USB will be charge your phone. So, and you won't see that because we're going to have a board up here. You have a board right up there, and that's going to be the pantry for all the food stuffs. Anyway, I'm pretty happy with this. It's come a long way from the very first video, how it came. 30-year-old inside it, sorry, excuse me. But it's all brand new now, brand new wiring and power points and everything. Alright guys, I'll let you go, I rabbited on a bit too long. Alright, catch ya.